I want to share with you some disturbing news on the coronavirus outbreak, which has taken at least 563 lives in China now, and the number of people infected has risen to 28,000. As you know, 10 more people on that cruise ship in Japan have tested positive. More Australians have been evacuated from Hubei province, and preparations are underway to establish more quarantine locations in Australia in case thousands of Aussies need to return from China. In Hong Kong, where there have been 21 confirmed cases and new rules have been put in place to quarantine people who enter from mainland China, there are reports now of panic buying as people stock up on supplies in case the crisis gets worse. I showed you yesterday worrying clips from China, bodies piling up in hospitals, people dead on the streets and people being dragged away by officials in anti-contamination outfits. There are claims people have been taken from their homes for speaking out on social media. And there are many claims that the death toll in China, at hospitals and elsewhere, is much higher than the official numbers. News Corp's Storyful, which tracks and verifies social media, has examined some of the videos for us. And they tell us that in this video there is nothing being said to suggest that people are being taken away for what they've said or done, but it is clear they're being taken away to go into isolation. The people are protesting that they were in self-imposed isolation, but clearly they are taken away regardless. But it's not been confirmed exactly where and when this happened. Storyful also checked out this video.
强行啊，一家4口啊。
Storyful tell us this was filmed in Nantong, near Shanghai, and that it tallies with confirmed cases of the virus in that area. The earliest postings of this video were on Monday this week, although we can't confirm exactly why the person is being taken away. It does, of course, seem to match claims of people being forcibly taken into medical care or off to isolation. Thanks to Storyful for tracing those videos for us. They do give us extra insight into just how concerning the situation is in mainland China. But let me show you a clip from the BBC just yesterday that deliberately talks down the coronavirus threat.
It's also, though, useful to put the scale of this crisis in perspective. We noticed the US health journalist Liz Szabo saying, look, there have been 425 deaths from coronavirus all over the world. Meanwhile, 10,000 Americans have died from the flu this season, and flu season hasn't even peaked. Now, worldwide, flu kills over 600,000 people a year. There are up to 5 million cases of it each year. You could compare that to the roughly 20,000 cases of coronavirus at the moment. Yet, because of these cases, 22 countries have introduced trade and/or travel restrictions.
Well, that number, of course, has already risen to at least 28,000. And, of course, we all should be alert, vigilant, calm and sensible as governments around the world deal with this. Panic is never helpful. But this BBC host, Ross Atkins, is the same bloke who's been cranking up hyperbole and alarmism all summer over the Australian bushfires, pretending they're unprecedented, sharing misleading claims that they're the worst in the nation's history, and using them to talk up global warming as a major factor. So Atkins and the BBC are over-the-top, sensationalist and alarmist over bushfires in Australia, but sober, restrained and arguably overly nonchalant over the threat of a pandemic. Seems like a lot of politics and ideology setting the tone at the public broadcasters.